Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I pay homage to the Blessed One, the Supremely Enlightened Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu. I pay homage to my teacher, Lukuswami Mahansi. Sadhu. Okay, so these are the 8 kinds of individuals, the disciples of the Blessed. First individual is the disciple or the person who strives for the first stage of enlightenment, who is practicing the path to attain the first stage of enlightenment. Okay, so he is the first individual, he or she. And then there is the second follower of the Buddha, and he or she already has attained the first stage of enlightenment. That is the second individual, the disciple of the Buddha. And third disciple is the one who is practicing the path to attain once returning, the third stage of enlightenment, the second stage of enlightenment, Sakadagami. And he has not yet attained the second stage of enlightenment. He's on the path, he's practicing the path. He already has become a stream entrant and now practicing the path to attain the second stage of enlightenment. So he is the third individual. And then the fourth individual is the one who has attained the second stage of enlightenment, once returning Sakadagami, fourth individual. And then there is this fifth individual who is practicing the path to attain the third stage of enlightenment, non-returning, Anagami. He is the fifth individual. And then there is this sixth individual. He or she has already attained the third stage of enlightenment, and he is a non-returner. And the seventh individual is the one who is practicing the path to attain the liberation, arahantship, the fourth and the last stage of enlightenment. He is the seventh individual. And the eighth individual is the arahant, who already has attained the fourth stage of enlightenment, the last stage of enlightenment, arahantship, and who has liberated from the cycle of birth and death. If we know the meaning, then when we are chanting, we know what we are chanting, right? So it is very important to know the meaning. And that is one of the main things my teacher did. In Sri Lanka, from our childhood, we were chanting so many Pali stanzas, Pali Vandana, Puja, and all these things. And 99%, maybe even 100%, we can say, we didn't know the meaning. We just following our parents and so on. But my teacher, when he started Dhamma propagation, he repeatedly said, this is not right. This doesn't, like, this is not the benefit. This is not what Buddha expected from you. If you know the meaning of what you are chanting, it's of great benefit for you. And while chanting, you can contemplate on the words of the Buddha, because even chanting, a chanting means the words of the Buddha. We chant the words of the Buddha. We chant a discourse delivered by the Buddha. And if somebody knows the meaning while chanting, then that person has a great opportunity to contemplate and reflect on the meaning and internalize that Dhamma. So Yeah, so my teacher wanted to emphasize learning the meaning, and my teacher translated many of those Pali chantings and also all the discourses, 18,000 discourses, and it's just for this purpose, so that people can understand the meaning. So my teacher taught about the meaning of Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. So that is in Pali. The meaning is Supatipanna means the Sangha of the Blessed One is practicing the path, the best path in the world. People follow so many paths in this world, and they follow these paths with the intention of becoming a doctor, a nurse, a pilot, an engineer, a, a teacher, like that. They follow different paths. But Buddha explains there is this best path in the world, which is the path that leads to the eradication of desires, hatred, and delusion. Supadipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, the disciples of the Blessed One are following the best path in the world. Ujjapatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, the disciples of the Blessed One are following the straight path in this world. If a certain path is straight, it should lead to the end of suffering. That's how a path becomes straight. Otherwise, the path is not straight, as Buddha realized. So the straight path is the Noble Eightfold Path. So the Sangha of the Blessed One is practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. Ujjapatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangha. So when we chant that, these qualities of the Sangha, if we know the meaning, lots of confidence, faith, devotion arises in the heart, and that is the purpose, to develop this confidence towards the community of monks and nuns, so that we also want to be like that. We also want to follow the same path. It starts with that confidence towards those Sangha who lived in the past and who lives at present, practicing the path. And thirdly, Nyaya Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. The Sangha of the Blessed One is practicing the path to understand the reality of this life, the truth of this life. There is only one truth about this life, which is the Four Noble Truths. The Noble Truth of suffering, cause of suffering, end of suffering, and the way leading to the end of suffering. So the disciples of the Buddha are practicing this path to understand the truth of life. So we pay homage to that quality, that those disciples who have sacrificed their life, dedicated their life in order to understand the truth of this entire existence. And they have not dedicated their life to do ordinary things, worldly things. They have not, their focus is not to get attached to things, to cling to things, to crave things. Their focus is to understand the truth of life. That's why we pay homage to the Sangha. Nyaya Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangha. And the fourth one is Samichi Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangha. The Sangha of the Blessed One is sharing the most precious thing in the world with others, which is the Dhamma. Dhammadana Sabbadana Jinati. The Dhamma, sharing the Dhamma, the gift of Dhamma is the best gift in the world, because all the other gifts give you a temporary happiness, temporary satisfaction. But the gift of Dhamma gives you lasting happiness. That is why the Sangha is sharing the best gift. So that is Samiji Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangha. And because the disciples of the Buddha are holding these qualities. They become ahuneyo. They are worthy of gifts. Pahuneyo, worthy of offerings. Anjali karaniyo, they are worthy of reverential salutation. Worthy of service, and they are the incomparable field of merit, because the disciples of the Buddha are practicing very difficult things. They are doing very difficult things in the world, and those difficult things were explained in the beginning. Supadipanno, Ujjapadipanno, Nyaya Padipanno, Samiji Padipanno.